How can you hear me? Hello, everybody. First of all, guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. To do this, you should click subscribe below the video, and don't forget to click the bell, and you always be aware of new stream and videos. First of all, traditionally, major news a few last days, some interesting news, and some analyze cryptocurrency, but I can say today's reminds today's how we meet each other last time. So now important things happened. Yes, we in Bitcoin we're near 8,000. But first of all, interesting news. First news, very optimistic about chapter BitMEX. Sir Hayes, he said the price of Bitcoin can reach 50,000 by the end of 2018. It's this year's guy. Only 6 months, and we become richer and richer. Why not? So, CEO of the BitMEX exchange, Arthur Hayes, is convinced that the price of Bitcoin can reach 50,000 by the end of 2019, but emphasizes that the figure itself is of a little interest. If the price rise of falls, if Bill Gates called Bitcoin fraud, you can open the shorts, please. It doesn't bother me at all. If you think that the price will reach 1 million in a few months, buy. I also don't care. We just provide the possibility of trading, said Hayes, a former trader at Citigroup. And he added that the cryptocurrency industry is a retail phenomenon, as the involvement of industrial investors in the sector is extremely weak. Moreover, in his opinion, 2/3 of the trades on the cryptocurrency market are provided by the Asian region. I remind you, the analyzed agency Fundstrat evaluated the growth dynamic of hashed in the Bitcoin network and came to the conclusion that the price of the cryptocurrency will reach 36,000, but not 2018 and at the end of 2019. So very optimistic number, 50,000, but I hope we reach these numbers as soon as possible. It's a joke, of course. So next news about from CoinDesk. This man is Jack Dorsey said that he hoped Bitcoin will become the native cryptocurrency of the internet. It's a CEO of Twitter and a payment startup, Square. He believes that the internet needs its own native cryptocurrency, and this currency may well be Bitcoin. This opinion he expressed in a panel discussion with CEO of Lightning Labs, Elizabeth Stark, at the conference Consensus 2018. I think you know it's a very important event in Bitcoin blockchain world. It's a Consensus 2018 in the United States, in New York City. Now attended. So I tend to think that the internet deserves a native cryptocurrency, and it will. I don't know if it will be Bitcoin, but I hope so. I'm his big fan, Dorsey said. So according to him, the idea that one day Bitcoin will be the basis for all payments on the network remain the subject of a heated debate within Square. We admit it, there are many skeptics, there are great debates and arguments, but this is how magic and creativity are born, added Dorsey. So despite the fact that Square has not yet developed a full-fledged payment solution based on Bitcoin for merchants and consumers, Dorsey said. And the company adheres to the vision as it has surrounded the cryptocurrencies since its inception. And he added, we want to return to the original idea and give the chance to buy a cup of coffee for Bitcoins. That's why we are working with Lightning Labs and will do everything necessary to make it happen. Willingness to take any steps to mass adoption of Bitcoin, however, doesn't mean the Square can jeopardize the open nature of the network. And Jack Dorsey concludes, this is a very open community and I want to be sure that corporate world doesn't threaten it. I think it's last sentence is very important, extremely important, not threaten it. Next news about Ripple. One is my favorite cryptocurrencies. Ripple launched Xspring to support XRP-based business project. So the American blockchain startup Ripple introduced a new program, Xspring, whose goal will be to attract business partners to use XRP cryptocurrency and the company's blockchain in its innovative solutions. Xspring and other startup develop programs will head Ethan Bird, a former director of Facebook, for partnering with third-party platforms. The goal is to support a business that, in our opinion, will find advantages in using the XRP registry, said Eric Van Miltenburg, Senior Vice President of Commercial Activities at Ripple, said. The company is considering not only the possibility of investments, grants, and incubation for the business solutions that they like, but also the potential acquisition. But at the same time, the main interest for Ripple is represented by projects in the areas of international trade, virtual goods, identity, real estate, micropayments, video games, and media. Note that within the framework of Xspring, Ripple has already supported Scooter Brown, who monetizes art and content management. Stephen Thomas, working on micropayments, co-founder of Omni, Thomas McLeod, who intends to integrate XRP into the marketplace, and co-founders of the cryptocurrency fund Blockchain Capital. So good luck Ripple, good luck XRP. And some exchange news about Bitcoin, about ETF. So Rex Shares announces the upcoming launch of Broken ETF. American financial company Rex Shares plans to launch an exchange investment fund ETF for companies using blockchain technologies. This is reported by Bloomberg. According to the head of Rex Shares, Greg King, earlier the United States Securities and Exchange Commission rejected the application of the company to launch Bitcoin ETF. The bid for Bitcoin ETF was technically withdrawn, but we still have a block ETF, which we expect to launch in the coming weeks. We are pledged because we believe that investors want to work with this technology. King said. It's also noted that Brian Kelly, financial analyst and founder of the BKCM hedge fund, will be the active manager of the new block ETF. I remind you earlier in May, Brian Kelly started the adoption of Bitcoin by major players from Wall Street, such as New York Stock Exchange and Goldman Sachs, will cause a rapid growth of the digital assets market in the short and medium term. Next, huge financial holding company, JP Morgan. It's news for CNBC. JP Morgan blockchain is interesting from the point of view of changing the financial system. And JP Morgan is a financial holding company, one of the leading in the United States, has begun to explore the cryptocurrency sector. Also, it remains skeptical about digital currencies. And the co-president of the bank, Daniel Pinto, said that this is an interview with NBC. So Pinto notes that the bank, first of all, is interested in blockchain technology because it's able to improve the financial system. We are exploring the space. I have no doubt that this technology will somehow play its role, he stressed. But at the same time, the top manager of JP Morgan noted that the underlying anonymous cryptocurrency can negatively influence the business reputation of large financial institutions. And he said such an asset will not last long because people will stop believing in it, or it will simply be killed by regulators. I think this concept is justified, and many central banks are exploring this topic. For me personally, the tokenization of the economy is quite real. Cryptocurrencies are real, but not in their current form. And according to Pinto, JP Morgan can also start clearing Bitcoin futures. Also, the bank rejected the idea early. And the last one news about conference. As I said a few minutes ago, it's conference in New York. It's Consensus 2018. So in this consensus, the main quote of this news, it's United States regulators don't want to stick sticks in the wheels on the crypto industry. So the United States regulation are still actively interested in cryptocurrencies and primary coin offering, but don't set themselves the goal of damaging the digital assets industry as a whole. Similar statements were made during the conference, Consensus 2018 in New York, organized by the publication of CoinDesk. For instance, during the event, James McDonald, director of the Law Enforcement Department of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Robert Cohen, head of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, Cybercrime Division, and Deputy Attorney General Sajid Rahman took part in a discussion on law enforcement is in the sphere cryptocurrency. They were also enjoyed by the chief strategist of the BTX exchange, Karen Rage, and the role of the president was made by lawyer Stevie Bennell. So representatives of the government immediately noted that everything said is their personal opinion and may not coincide with the policy of the departments that they represent. It's noteworthy that all of them eventually agreed that they don't want to stick the sticks in the wheel of innovation or understandably blockchain, the technology of the block, and the tokens created on its basis. And at the same time, all three representatives of the authorities said they had to act actively to suppress the activities of scammers who are almost openly trying to steal money from members of the crypto community. And Cohen and McDonald's added that both of their departments profess the open door policy when it comes to launching the ICO. So what the main quotes for this discussion? As a Security Exchange Commission is open in terms of a meeting with industry representatives. We can come and talk with the team, talk about ideas, new developments, and establish a dialogue about the new technology. The Commission supports the desire to create capital. We don't regulate technology, we regulate the financial industry and markets, Cohen said. He was supported, and McDonald, our task is to contribute to the development of financial markets. And as a regulator, we understand that this requires some flexibility in approach. And we do it anyway that doesn't interfere with innovation, McDonald added. But in turn, Raymond also supported the idea that their activities are aimed at protecting Americans. The primary task of the Ministry of Justice is to protect people. One of the main reasons for our concern is that people are pouring huge amounts of money into the market, which are missed by financial institutions. And from the point of view of national security or anti-laundering legalization, this is a precedent that we are obligated to investigate. As in everything, a balance is needed here, but this is definitely one of our priorities, to know what is happening at the moment, said Raymond. At the same time, the representative of Bittrex assures that the main difficulty in the industry is the lack of clarity in the regulation of token ales. I get a look of feedback that I need more certainly. Very often we hear about fraud, and we agree that such people aren't needed in our industry. But the problem is, how can we create leadership and apply it in our activities when it's so detached from what the scammers do, said Karen Rage. McDonald agreed with him and said the CFTC research department is making every effort to ensure that we can achieve the best possible result. And we try to act differently than the policy divisions, but they are holding discussion with market participants. However, Cohen noted that for its part, the Security Exchange Commission has already published a guide to the tokens. And he said the main problem is whether the token or similar assets is a security, and the Commission must provide guidance of this issue. If a firm or an individual sincerely tries to comply with laws, including communicating with regulation, we will work with them. And it's always obvious if people don't even try to keep the law. And then we must act. I remind you previously, the Security Exchange Commission Commissioner Hester Pierce also said that the agency shouldn't roll all ICO under one camp. In turn, the representative of the Security Exchange Commission, Robert Jackson, said earlier that the Commission primarily cares about the protection of cryptocurrency investors. So, what about main cryptocurrency? As I said in the beginning of my speech, BTC absolutely we can see a large moves as we near 8,000 and some We have some range, maybe 8,400s and 8,100s. But if we see on daily chart, Bitcoin looks like bearish, not bullish, because I think it's a big opportunity for short in this situation. For I think if your mood is bullish, you can wait, because no opportunities, no situation to buy this cryptocurrency at the moment. At the same situation is XRP, but we have some support in this area, 66, 67, 70, new resistance 75, resistance 80. But you remember a few weeks ago, this resistance crashed without any problem. Magnificent situation near this 70 cents and 90 cents for a few days. Very nice swing trade. So wait at the moment, and ETH 700 is very interesting and very important price for this cryptocurrency. We can see some resistance at $740, and next resistance $765. Of course, 800 Litecoin, the same situation. Oh, today, very interesting moment. Our EOS. Today he said, "I'll be back, but 15 minutes look better." We create some support near 12, and very interesting Momo trade in the early morning. But now we're in the area in 13, but who knows? If I look at daily chart, I think it's short situation. If we create good support, maybe we need for this few days, maybe 1 week, maybe we go higher, but now I think it's a short situation, it's not long. About EOS, XMR, the same, like Litecoin, BCH, same, and REP, very nice, because we have new support near $48, this area, and sometimes we can see more moves on volume, so why not, and we can see maybe $70 or $80 in this week. So what about coin market cap? The same situation like 2 days ago, 37% domination Bitcoin, and today gainers and size coin, but capitalization it's not big. Augur REP, few minutes, few seconds ago we look at these charts, and other capitalization LISC, EOS, Monero only 3% today, and So plus minus flat in the market, yes. So wait for weekends, wait for tomorrow, Friday, yes, and see you on next week. Guys, I remind you, don't forget to subscribe our channel. To do this, you should click subscribe to the below the video. So guys, see you next week, and I hope you can create some profit ideas for cryptocurrency, but keep yourself, because now it's not good. I think it's not good situation to buy, maybe when we reach 9,000, and of course, as I said in the previous lessons, very important number is 10,000. So good luck, see you next week.